Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. I am Alejandro Perez, the CGI nerd, and in this tutorial, I want to go in and talk about how to import other Python files into Maya, so that way you can work in separate files but be able to access the code inside of Maya. And also, this will help you out if you want to use an external editor as well. um, yeah, so that is what I want to be able to do there on that. Let me make a adjustment really quick so that I can see, because I don't think I can see anything right now. So let's do CGI nerd /live. And then I am going to mute this. Hopefully it will come up with sound. There we go. That way I can see anybody in the chat as well. So let me open up Notepad and bring up Maya. You guys should be able to see it already because I have it on OBS, but here we go. Inside of Maya, we can find out what paths we are able to save Python files into and be able to read them within Maya by default. So the way we do that is check out, we have to first import our sys, and then we can do a quick loop here. We are going to do for path in sys.path. So with this for loop, we're basically creating a variable here, and then we are checking this sys.pypath, and this is actually creating a list for us. So that way we have an access to the list, and it's going to loop through that whole list of items. I'm just going to tell it to print pypath. Okay. So when we do that, we get access to, or it tells us everywhere where it's reading Python files in here. So really, if we put a Python file in any of these folders, we can actually be able to access it through an import. The place that I like to go ahead and do that through is, let's show my desktop really quick. There we go. So we have the desktop here. And inside of the desktop, if we are looking at this here, one of the paths that we have access to is Maya, and then we can go to scripts here, or we can go into 2018, which is this specific scripts for this specific version of Maya, and scripts in here. Probably kind of for general scripts that are not version specific, I'd go into here, and then we can create files inside of Python here on this drive. So I switch over to my other layout. There we go. If I go to Notepad++, like I have here, excuse me, I can create a Python file here. So let's import maya.cmds as MC. And let's save this as, and I'm going to save it as a Python file. I need to scroll down. There we go, Python file. And I'm going to go into this PC, documents, Maya, and scripts. And I'm just going to create a simple script right now. We're going to create a sphere. So I'm going to do create sphere. Save. There we go. Now that we saved it as a Python file, we should have access to seeing the color coordination for Python commands now. I'm gonna say mc.polysphere, and I'm going to save that. And inside of the script editor here, let me just make it so that we're only looking at the bottom here. I can now say import, and let's look at the desktop really quick. So I want to make sure that I use the same naming that I have here. I don't need the .py, but I need create sphere with no space and the capital S. So that's what I am going to do. So when I go back into Maya here, I'm going to say import create sphere, and let's run this. And when I run this, you can see that I create a sphere in my scene, and that's all the command is doing right now. There is something that you have to be careful with when you are doing this. So if I go back into Notepad++, and let's say I added to this code mc.polycube, and I save this. And now that that is saved, I try to run it here inside of the Maya script editor. We can see that it's actually not doing anything at all. It's not even creating the sphere again that we had over here. So what is happening? What is happening is that with Python, whenever you import something, it only imports it once and it keeps it into memory. So by keeping it in memory, it runs a bit faster, but you have to make sure that if you're actively working on the file and you need to be able to reload this, there is an extra command that we can run, so that way it updates anything that we change inside of the script editor itself. So we can run reload, and then the file name is going to be create sphere. Create sphere is not defined. So we have the reload, create sphere. Is it it's not a Maya command. No, it's definitely not a Maya command. Why is this not working? So let's troubleshoot this really quick. Give me 1 second. I think I might have. No, I'm not misspelling anything. I need to check something here with the module. We can unimport, but that is not what I want. I want to reload and the module name. Import, reload. Yeah, it should be working. So let's see. Create sphere is not defined. Am I misspelling it without noticing? Yeah, I misspelled something. So I just copied and pasted and it popped back up. And we can see that we do have the sphere now, and we do have the cube. Okay, so I'm glad that craziness is fixed now. It looked like it was spelled exactly the same way. I'll have to look back when I finish this video to see what happened, but okay, so let's go back in to, let's actually clear these two shapes. And let's look at this script inside of Notepad++ again. Something else that we can do that is pretty awesome with the code inside, or when we are referencing or importing a file like this, is, let's say we created a function, and I'll call it create sphere, and I'll just put that command in there, and then I will define a second function, be create cube, there we go, and I'm going to save this now. And I'm not actually going to run any of these functions here, but if I do this and reload it now, you'll see that the code here has reloaded it, and nothing has happened inside of our Maya window. So what this actually gives us access to is we can actually call the functions specifically. We can do create sphere and then put a dot and run C sphere. And I've created a sphere in the middle of my scene. So let's get rid of that, and I can do the C cube. And when I run that, I have a cube in the middle of my scene. So I can actually, excuse me, run both of them if I wanted to. So let me do this, and then I'll do C sphere. SPH. There we go. There it goes, and we can actually run any of these commands multiple times. And it should keep on repeating that process over and over again because we are accessing the code that is here inside of this Python file. So this gives us a bit more flexibility when we are working, especially in teams, or if we're working on a bigger file and we need to organize things a little bit better. We can have individual Python files and then access commands from separate Python files, and it can be commands or classes or really anything that we're working on in there, or variable or anything like that. But this gives us a little bit more flexibility on how we are working with Python commands inside of Maya, and give us a little bit more flexibility. Anyways, I hope you find this useful. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And we will see you guys in the next video. Have a good evening or a good day wherever you guys are. Bye.